What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap. As finally, the Lakers win a winnable game versus a garbage team. We finally win, but it was not pretty, guys. It wasn't pretty at all. However, there were some positives, and I'm gonna focus on those. The negatives, no tacos for the fans. Lakers gave up a lead. Um, you know, uh, they can't really hang their hat tonight and say they did their job because they almost let the Bulls, which is one of the worst teams in the NBA, back into this game. However, the funniest moment was when the fans didn't get tacos in the end. That was kind of sad, guys. I was really rooting for the fans. They made it interesting up until the end. Thanks, Endo 420. I appreciate you, bro, all season long with the dollar bill. Thank you, man. But crazy. Positives. I really like the way Lonzo played. He was aggressive. He took advantage of the mismatch. He had obviously some no-name point guard in front of him throughout the night. So he did what he had to do. He stepped up his scoring, facilitating, all that. I thought KCP was good. That was a good job by Luke to insert him in the starting lineup since Josh Hart has been off. And I actually like the energy that Tyson Chandler brought. Also, Svi Mykhailiuk needs to play more minutes. I agree with you guys, man. He needs to play because he's going to be a pure sharpshooter. It's only a matter of time. He continues to look better on that stroke coming off of screens. He reminded me of Kyle Korver catching and shooting coming off of screens. I really liked it. So I hope he gets a lot more minutes. I think he can be utilized in this offense. We need some three-point shooting, and he can provide that in due time. Did I see Kuzma at halftime? Yes, he tweeted. I am not happy with that, especially because he didn't have a good game. So he needs to be better. One thing about Kuz that he's been doing lately is he's been forcing shots. If the three ball's not falling, I wanted him to mix it up. He's so much better in the paint, higher efficiency, and also playmaking. He's so much better when he playmakes. He did a couple of nice passes tonight, but he forced a lot of stuff, especially that out in transition when he doesn't have numbers and he gets called for charges. So he needs to get better at that. I'm not happy with that. But he will continue to get better. Brandon Ingram was actually really, really solid. I like what he did. I really, really liked what Brandon Ingram did today. Let the game come to him. Took some nice mid-range jumpers and facilitated for his teammates. Like I said, Svi Mykhailiuk needs to get some minutes, man. He's solid. I can't wait to see what that kid turns into. I really like his jump shot. I like his athletic and defensive abilities. And I like the fact that he runs the wing perfectly and spots up for wide open shots and knocks them down. If we plug him in consistently to the rotation, I think he can give us something. I think he can do something for us. So that's what I want to see from him. A lot of people were hoping that the Lakers lost because there was a rumor floating out there that Luke Walton would be on his last legs and eventually fired if they lost tonight. Well, I don't believe that rumor, but if that was true, this win was so unimpressive because of the way they gave up that lead at the end and all the mental breakdowns they had, that Luke should still get fired, honestly, if that rumor was true. But let's be honest, it's not true. It looks like Genie's going to, it looks like the front office is going to hold out till the summer to potentially make a move on Luke. That's what it's looking like. So I'm going to go ahead and retire that hat. And not worry about Luke. Whatever happens to him, so be it. But let's be honest, tonight was not a good win. It was a win, and I'm happy we won. Hey, Danny, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Finally, huh? Finally, we get a victory. However, it was very sloppy, man. The turnovers are getting out of hand. We can't even bring the ball up court without turning the ball over. That needs to change, man. If I'm Luke Walton, I say, hey, I want Lonzo bringing up the ball up the court every time until we learn to take care of this ball. And then, once we start taking care of the ball better, then I'll give you guys your privileges of, bringing the ball up the court back. But there needs to be some sort of repercussion for these sloppy turnovers, even from Kuz to Brandon Ingram. Too many turnovers in the half court. It's like they get careless. It's like they want to make the hero play instead of passing it ahead to their teammates. They get double teamed. They got to keep their head up, so that way they can see if there's a double, if they have to pass out of it, if they have to advance the rock. They have to keep their head up. It's all fundamentals. And I see sometimes they're looking down. They're trying to split a double team. They're trying to do too much. A game is much better when it's simplified. So that's what we got to do. We got to make sure we take care of the basketball. We come up and, we slow it down. And I don't want to hear none of this slandering, guys, because I feel like we take turns, not we. The people that be hating on our players. When one player has a bad night, he's a bust. Lonzo had a good night tonight, so I don't see no bust comments from the Lonzo section. But however, now we're slandering Kuz because he didn't have the best night. And then when Brandon Ingram had that stretch, we were slandering him. We got to stop this, guys. This is getting out of hand. Let's just support the whole team. And if a trade happens, we'll see. We'll go from there. But for now, seriously, guys, we need to get on the same page as far as young players. Of course, they're not ready 100% to take over, but they're a work in progress, and we're going to live and die by them for now. I'm just glad they won as well. I'm really glad they won. We need every win we can get, and we want a shot at anything. But let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. It was an ugly win, and we need to improve in a lot of areas. However, I am happy with the way that Tyson Chandler played in the starting lineup. He surprised me. He looked rejuvenated by the fact that he started, and like I said, I wanted him to prove me wrong. I said I didn't think it was a good move to insert him. I wanted either Zubac or JaVale there. But tonight, at least for the night, maybe it was the matchup, maybe it was the fact that the Bulls suck. Let's not sugarcoat it. But at the same time, I wanted him to start somebody else. So I'll give Tyson Chandler the credit for tonight. Same thing with KCP. He played hard. He played good defense, and he shot pretty good. So shout out to him as well. I love the Svi alley-oop to Chandler. Svi Mykhailiuk shows very good basketball IQ. I can't wait to see what he becomes. The refs hate tacos. Yeah, that was a ridiculous call, but Zoo shouldn't have jumped. He should have just put his hands up and lived with the result. That's a little more discipline on his part. He said, Dan, did you hear D Fish said Brandon Ingram reminded him of Giannis? You know what? A very raw version of Giannis, because of course he doesn't remind us of the MVP one right now. He has a lot of improvement to go, but he can. He's very lanky. He has a lot of potential. I'm not going to go ahead and mention any names. I don't want to stir up any trolls in the comment section, but seriously, guys, just, he said Jack in the Box paid off the refs. Nah, man, here's the thing. The fans need to stop chanting, we want tacos if they truly want tacos, because that actually adds a motivation to the players to go out and get that 100 points, because they want to shut up the crowd. They want to at least come out with a smaller victory since they didn't win. And that's what happens. Once they start chanting, we want tacos, they should probably save that chant till that 100-point mark is out of reach. You know what I mean? So that's the problem. I feel I was at the game while we started chanting way too early, we want tacos, and that motivated them last time. And again, it happened tonight. So if they really want tacos, they should hold off to like the final possession or whatever, man. But yeah, my thing is that those tacos are overblown. The tacos are only $2 for $1 at Jack. You spend hundreds of dollars on a ticket. I'm sure buying an extra pair of tacos is not going to hurt your wallet like that. So it's not a big deal, but it is funny to see how the fans react. They swear these are $10 tacos a piece or something, But you got to love it. You got to love the passion. They're rooting to the very end, and it's a good gimmick from Staples Center, to get the crowd to stay and root the whole game on. That way, like in other places, other arenas, the crowd starts leaving once they secure victory or once it's a for sure loss. So it's actually pretty good. Dan, what's up, bro? # we want tacos. But a win is a win, though. It is a win, and I'm happy for the win. I wish that we execute better down the stretch, because that's going to cost us other games versus better opponents. Man, we can't be turning the ball over the way we did down the stretch, missing as many free throws, all that stuff, Dan, would you trade for Dennis Smith Jr.? I was waiting for this question. Great question, Chris. I actually would give him a shot. I like Dennis Smith, and I liked him coming out of the draft, and I feel like they're already giving up on him on his second season only because Doncic is success. I get it. They probably don't pair well together, but if I'm the Lakers, I'd offer KCP or something like that for him. Why not? Let's take a flyer on Dennis Smith. I like his athletic explosion. He's actually shooting I think like 37% from beyond the arc. So he'd be an upgrade to, our shooters right now. I don't see why not. I would like Dennis Smith. I didn't see the game. Why was Luke mad? Luke was just putting on a show. He knows. He needs to get mad earlier in the game when they're doing their knuckleheaded plays, not late. I'm okay with him showing some emotion, but I thought it was too late already for that. But it is what it is. He did a better job tonight as far as coaching goes. I thought the rotations were a little bit better. I did like the fact that Zoo got some run and Svi got some run, and they both had a solid little impact. So I like that. And we did do a good job on Zach LaVine. I agree, Chris. So I was overall pleased. However, still, I felt like some of the timeouts weren't called on time and stuff like that. So I'm still critical. He said, "You changed sweaters, Dan? LOL, because the Lakers won." Nah, like I said earlier when I got here, when I made my pre-game, I had just came from outside, so that was the sweater I was wearing outside. But as soon as I finished the pre-game, I switched out of sweaters. That's my nice sweater. I'm not trying to dirty it or nothing, eating pizza on the couch or whatever. So, yeah, I switched into this one. This is my work sweater. So pretty much, yeah, that's the reason. That's the story behind the sweater. For your information, man. He said JaVale gave energy off the bench, and that was a good point. I didn't think of that, I guess, in pregame, but yeah, JaVale coming off the bench was actually solid because we got some energy, we got some nice block shots, and same thing with Josh Hart. Even though, again, Josh Hart's still struggling, it's a little bit concerning, man. So Dan, do you think Lonzo is the most valuable of the young core? He makes mistakes, but he is the most refined game overall at this point. I love Lonzo Ball. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Lonzo, Kuz, basically our whole young core I love. But Lonzo is the one I'm keeping my eye on because he has Hall of Famer type potential. When I say that, I mean, he really doesn't have many weaknesses. Look, he's one of the quickest players in the league. We already established that in the polls the other day. He's a top 10 guard in this league as far as speed goes. He just needs to learn how to control his speed, slow down, and finish at the basket. When he attacks with aggression, guys, not a lot of people can stay in front of him. And tonight he did that a couple times. You've seen that dunk in the first quarter. In the second half, he blew a layup, but I like the fact that he's being aggressive. And when his three balls falling, he really doesn't have any faults. This guy can rebound, play defense, get up the court. And you know what I like about his defense? He picks up the opposition's guards full court, and he stays with them. He doesn't get shook. He doesn't get left behind very often unless it's on a screen. So he's a very good on-ball defender, and I like the pressure he applies. Sometimes it causes turnovers because all of a sudden, the guards and on the opposition, they have to speed up the tempo to try to get it up court and try to get their offense set. I look at all the little things, guys. Like, for example, when Lonzo puts that on-ball pressure full court, all of a sudden it doesn't give the opportunity for the opposition to get into their half-court sets. All of a sudden they have to improvise, and that is when, it's a good defensive possession. So that's what really Lonzo's doing. Most of the time, he's not really trying to get the steal. He's just trying to get under the skin of the opposition because their coach or their star player calls a play, and they got to get into their spots. So you see, if you let somebody walk up the ball past the half court, then they can call any play. They can set up their offense. Instead, if you take a player off of his spots and you're playing full court press, then all of a sudden they're forced to adjust, and only the best of guards can adjust quickly. So it's great defense by Zoe, and I like the fact that he does that all consistently. So I'm look, guys, I'm always all about the core, and you know this. You guys know this. You guys call me all kinds of names. You say that I am blinded, that Lonzo's a bust. Again, tonight I see none of those comments. So I just want consistency from the haters. Look, if you're gonna hate on Lonzo, hate on him when he does good as well. That way you could look just as ridiculous as you did the other night when he struggled. It's the same stuff. So just be consistent. Dan, your thoughts on this upcoming matchup against OKC and the Rockets and Golden State? We have to win one of those three. Those are my thoughts. We can't lose all three of them. We have to win at least one. If we can get two out of those three, amazing. 3 out of 3 probably won't happen because we don't have LeBron yet. But if we can get 2 out of 3, that would be insanely good. But I'd be satisfied with at least one out of the 3. And I'm looking at that Thunder game. I think we match up well with them. They barely beat us last time, and we were even more injured than we are now. So I think we can win the Thunder game. I think we'll have a shot in Houston. Houston always lets you back in games. They don't really play defense like that. So we'll have a shot there. And the Golden State Warrior game, I look for them to try to get revenge. So that's going to be tough, but we are at Staples, I believe, right? So we'll have a shot in all 3. We just have to play right, and hopefully LeBron will be back for 2 out of those 3. I'm hoping. Tomorrow, by the way, if you guys haven't heard, we get news about LeBron James' injury tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. Let's see what happens. Hopefully he's ready to come back soon. If not, then we got to keep fighting. Dan, what does Genie see in Luke? I have no idea, honestly. Did you notice once Kyle Kuzma sat in the 4th, we were able to get buckets and stops? No, you're not going to pin that on Kyle. Come on, guys. That's my problem. That's my problem is that one player struggles, and all of a sudden you guys want to pin it all on him. Again, a couple of nights ago, everybody was saying Lonzo's a bust. Not everybody, but the trolls were. Even before in my pregame, go back and read the comment section. Lonzo's a bust. He's a bum. Stop defending him, blah, blah, blah. And tonight he had a good game. I don't see one. Now I'm hearing Kuz, you know. Now I'm hearing Kuz this, Kuz that. Guys, don't be fair weather fans. Let's chill out. Let these guys make mistakes. Let them breathe a little. Kuz was just the GOAT the other night when he dropped 41 and 3/4. All of a sudden, Kuz needs to get traded. Come on now. Kuz isn't that good, Dan. It's not just one game. Okay, but I bet you weren't saying that when he dropped 41 and 3/4. I'm just saying. When he held Blake Griffin to 0 rebounds, come on. Let's just be fair. All right, we can't go from one end of the spectrum to another one. Kuzma is too much hero ball sometimes, but I heard the same thing about Brandon. How come we're not hearing that about Brandon? Is it because he potentially, had a good game today? Maybe. I don't know. No assist. Oh, so now we're looking for defects. See, that's what I'm talking about. We can't. They're not perfect players. Okay, so you want him to score. All of a sudden, now you're going to criticize his assist. If he passes, then all of a sudden he shot too much. It's like, come on, guys. Come on. Stop dissing our youth, man. Stop dissing. Seriously. I'm starting to really question some of these fans, man. I wonder if they're really Laker fans. Real Laker fans aren't going to trash our young core like that, man. Seriously. Leave that for the haters. We got plenty of haters out there that want a part of these Lakers. Trust me. Other GMs are salivating at the chance of getting Kyle Kuzma. You guys are talking about trading him and stuff. Come on now. I said Mitchell and Tatum better choice. Absolutely not. I'll take Kuzma over both of those guys. One, because Kuzma is a 6'10 scorer. Donovan Mitchell is a beast. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be mad if you took him either. But Tatum, nah. Tatum is too inconsistent. I'll take Kuz over him. Dan Kuz is great. He will have his slumps here. He's human. Exactly. All of the young players have had their time so far that I've experienced, running this chat, guys, from the beginning. I've experienced that when the season started and Ingram was playing bad, everybody wanted to trade Ingram. I said, stick with him. He's going to be good. Tonight he showed flashes. Nobody's saying that about him. When Lonzo has played bad, everybody says he's a bust. He can't score. He's had games where he dropped a 0, a bagel or whatever, and he's still impacted in other ways. And I'm defending him. People are calling me a Lonzo homer. Tonight it was Kuz who struggled. Now, just read the comment section, and you'll see what I'm talking about, Just read the comment section. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That doesn't irritate me per se because I know that the young core has a bright future. I'm chilling as a fan. I'm not really all about trading these guys. You guys are. But there's certain fans that do. They'll say, I'll be on Twitter, and I will read, oh, we need to trade Kuzma. I'm like, what? What? Dude can't breathe. Dude can't make a mistake because all of a sudden it's a trade. And that's where I say Laker fans, most of us are impatient because we're not willing to develop young talent. And then when the talent actually gets traded, like D'Angelo Russell, and we see them shining elsewhere, then you'll have those same fans that were saying trade D'Angelo now saying, oh, we should have kept D'Lo, fire Magic. It's always like, who are we going to point the finger at next? That's what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. He said Kuz still needs to work on his defense. He's not a great defender right now. That's okay. They all need to work on something. Brandon needs to work on his jump shot. Kuz needs to work on his jump shot. Lonzo needs to work on his jump shot. Are you going to trade them all because they need to work on something? I think not. He said Kuzmania. Kuz an all-star. He's literally putting up 18.7 points per game, and people are talking about trade this man. What are you going to get that's equal value, that has just as much as potential? I just don't see a market like that, I don't see it. Unless he's included in a Anthony Davis package, I don't see equal value in return. Trade all of them. I hear you, Kevin. He said, no, Dan. Kuz has to play slower when Ingram's out there. And when Kuz is out, Ingram either forces it or turnover. But he said what? He said Ingram either forces it or turnover. But when Kuz out, Ingram is KD. I don't know, man, because when Brandon Ingram was out, Kuzma was balling too. He was averaging 25 points per game, and everybody was like, trade Ingram. So I'm not gonna. Again, you just got to be patient with these guys. They're gonna learn to get it on the same page at the same time. So far, we haven't had many games where all 3 of them or all 4 of them ball out. We've had maybe a handful of them, But once they all learn how to play consistently, and again, key word is consistency with young players. They'll eventually hit that spot where they're starting to be consistent. D'Angelo's finally starting to hit that. Julius is starting to hit that. But those are 4-year players. These guys are 1-2 year players. You guys are expecting the same thing. 3-year players. And and some are younger than others because they got drafted younger. It's got the key for us fans, man, is patience with the players. If you want to get upset, go, talk about the front office. That's fine because it is their job to build a roster. You want to talk about the coaching, that's fine. It's their job to build schemes, defensive, offensive schemes. But if you want to trash the young players because they're not up to your expectations, which is I don't know what they are, honestly. The young core has exceeded my expectations. Lonzo with his playmaking and defense, he's an all-team first or second defender this season, the way he's playing. And he's exceeded my expectations. Brandon Ingram is a little under my expectations, but that's okay. He still has time. Kuzma has exceeded my expectations. He continues to shine with or without LeBron on the court. And he's probably the most consistent scorer we have. And yet when he has an off night, then everybody wants to trash him. But that's okay. Again, I'm going to ride or die by my young core. And when they finally do develop and flourish, I'm going to be the first one to say, who the heck said trade Kuzma? Who the heck said trade Lonzo? Who the heck said trade Brandon? Who the heck said trade Big Zubats or whoever is developing? I'm going to rub it in you guys' face because you guys sure as heck love to point out bad games to me. So I'm going to come right back, man. Play Mo Wagner. That's a good point. I really need to see Mo. And the little bit of stuff that I've seen from Mo Wagner, I really like his footwork, his IQ. I like the way he plays hard. He plays with a lot of heart, diving for loose balls, stuff like that. I love a young rook that comes in like that. I think that's actually infectious. If we could find more minutes for him, that would be nice. So same thing with Svi. Svi shows nice flashes of hitting jumpers, attacking the rim, playing good defense. If we can find consistent rotation minutes for him, I know it's hard because we got plenty of guards, but that's not my job. That's Luke Walton's job. That's why he gets paid, right? Bottom line is we have to keep developing these young guys because I really love what we have. Even when we lose and we struggle and we look like trash, I never blame the young guys because they're young. They have room to grow. Oh, who doesn't have room to grow? I think you guys know who. So I'm not gonna beat the dead horse because Genie and Magic and Rob aren't ready to fire him. But I love Ingram's game, but Kuzma fits way better with Bron, so I think we should still trade Ingram. Again, I'm not gonna go down that road. You guys want to trade certain players? I'm all for all of them. I think we've gave up enough young talent. Can you imagine the type of team we would have had if Mitch would have never signed Miles Gavin-Dang and we weren't forced to trade D'Angelo, we weren't forced to trade Larry Nance? Imagine, even if they came off the bench, imagine the type of offensive and athleticism and fusion to go with LeBron, Alonzo, Ingram, and Kuz. That would have been something else. So I don't want to give up more of bright, young, future talent if it's unnecessary. If it's necessary, again, we land in that superstar, I'm with it. But if it's for somebody like Bradley Beal who's going to make somewhat of an impact but not take you to the promised land, in my opinion, I'm not down with that. But again, that's just my opinion, guys. I see you guys have your own. He said, if we had Nance still, man, we could really play small ball. Exactly. Dan, how do you feel about Lance? Lance is playing sloppy right now, but I know when LeBron comes back, he's going to put everybody in formation. So, Dan, would you sign Kawhi, then trade some young pieces for AD, Bron, and Kawhi? Absolutely. If we have a chance at getting superstars, all bets are off, right? That's the ultimate goal. You get 3 superstars, you compete for a championship. But again, if it's for Bradley Beal or some quick fix, I'm not with it. I watched the game, watched Kuz on defense. He plays hard. He locked up Larry Marketing. Kuz also rebounding like crazy for us. Kuz isn't trash, guys. Absolutely not. I agree, man. Kuz does other things as well. But today, I think he did have like 12 rebounds, by the way. So he's doing his job there. Dan, patience only works if LeBron never came. Not really. To me, LeBron came. He said he's willing to be patient. He said it himself. So this pressure that some fans are adding because LeBron is here, those are mainly LeBron fans. They want the instant results because their guy is running out of time. However, LeBron knew this was going to be a process, and you can't rush the process. You got to trust it, all right? Because if you rush the process, you might end up with the wrong team anyways, and then you don't have a bright future and you don't keep improving. You're stuck. Dan, did we keep Tyson in the starting lineup? Again, I think it worked based on the matchup tonight. He was going up against a rookie, so that's probably the reason that it worked. But would I like him in the starting lineup? Probably not. I think JaVale should be back as a starter. KCP, I'm fine with. he plays hard and he's been knocking down the shot. So I'm happy with him there. He's finally living up to that Detroit Piston hype that I put behind him when he came. So I'm happy with that. I'm proud of KCP for adjusting and taking his bench role in stride and eventually earning back his starting lineup for the time being. So good on him. Shout out to KCP. You have to give credit where credit is due. Been playing a lot better. His IQ still needs improvement. I get that. He still makes some boneheaded plays, but he's knocking down shots, knocking down free throws, and playing solid defense. You can't hate on that. As far as Tyson Chandler, I think he's still a bit too old. Tonight he played good. He looked a bit rejuvenated, but again, I always look at who he's matching up against. Is he going to do this against Steven Adams? Probably not. So we'll see. I like Tyson off the bench better, honestly. Beasley is a scorer that's what he does. I agree. He said we need to sign D'Lo. That would be great, but honestly, the way we treated him, with Magic coming out in public and saying that we needed a true leader, that's why we made the trade or whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, if I'm D'Angelo Russell, yes, I would sign with the Lakers because I love the Lakers. But all bias aside, if D'Angelo Russell if he's thinking clearly, he's probably going to stay in Brooklyn because he already found himself a home there and he's hooping there. I don't see him leaving that, to come to LA and then get scrutinized potentially again. You see the way our fan base is. You have one or two bad games, everybody's trashing you, talking about you're a bum, this, and that, So in Brooklyn, there's less of a spotlight because they're not even the best team. They're not the primary team in New York. They're like the Clippers of New York. So pretty much, I think we chased D'Lo away. I think the fan base, especially the ones that were hard on them, always calling them trash, calling them a bust, all that. I think pretty much. Then, like the song says, I love LA. I love LA too, bro. But, younger players are more sensitive. I could tell. D'Angelo Russell is sensitive. He's a sensitive player. And if he's sensitive, man, if he's that sensitive, he ain't coming back because we trashed him pretty bad. We sure did. But I would love D'Angelo Russell. His shooting and playmaking abilities next to Lonzo would be insane. And I think it would have been awesome to watch. But unfortunately, again, I still blame Mitch and Jim for that. Because if we don't get rid of Moskov and Dang, and we don't include D'Lo, that trade never happens, and we never land LeBron. So pretty much it had to be done. D'Lo is hella sensitive, and Randall is sensitive too. That's the new generation. Let's be honest. The new generation can't take constructive criticism. They can't take it in stride. So he said, I like the idea of Ingram playmaking more to Lonzo shooting more. Tonight, the shot was falling. When Lonzo's shot is falling, he doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. His free throws still need improvement. That's about it. But, Dan, would you trade for Kent Bazemore? Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. Kent Bazemore apparently is on the trade block along with Desmond from the Atlanta Hawks. That would be great if we could add a role player like Kent Bazemore. I would trade KCP for Bazemore in a heartbeat because Bazemore can shoot. He can slash, but most of all, he has a lot of energy, man. He's like, I don't know how to describe him. He's really good. And I like him on both ends of the floor, D'Lo was clutch. He won some games for us. I'll never forget. Also, I remember when he played shooting guard, that was his best position. Honestly, that's his real possession. That's the position where he really was dropping like 35s. He was doing some work at the two guard. So when we switched him over to two guard and he started dropping 30s, I thought he was going to stick. When I felt like he was going to get traded was when he liked that tweet. I felt like that was a straw that broke the camel's back. He liked that tweet that said the Lakers were dumb if they drafted Lonzo because we already had our point guard in D'Lo. Once he liked that, I feel like the front office got a hold of that and they were like, nope, he hasn't matured one bit. That's it. Ship him out. And they looked for a package to get rid of, Timothy Mozgov's contract. So I predicted it too a month before it happened. I said, D'Lo's getting shipped out, guys. Just be prepared. I was sad that day. I remember because I was a big fan of his. I knew he would pan out eventually, right? So, but I always root for the name on the front of the jersey over the name on the back. So, the KCP for Wayne Ellington. I like Wayne Ellington, but KCP's playing good right now. If I'm trading KCP, I want somebody with more offensive punch, like a Terrence Ross or something like that. That's my problem with D'Lo, his maturity. Well, apparently he's matured. I have a friend who plays Xbox Live with him, and he says he's pretty cool. He's pretty humble. So I don't know. I don't know him in person or whatever, but I still root for the kid, man. There's something about players that the Lakers drafted, as long as they don't play for the Boston Celtics or the Clippers, I root for them, to do good, because I feel like they're part of the family, man. We saw these kids grow up. We drafted them, and it's like they didn't really do anything wrong to deserve to get traded. But other than the fact that he was immature, of course. But let's be real, guys. He would have been a great player here in LA. It's too bad it didn't work out. Dan, your thoughts on us being interested in Chandler Parsons? I'm not a fan of Chandler Parsons, guys. The last couple of years he's been injured. I'd rather not. I think that's just a rumor. Dan, Luke keeps messing up. Yeah, but there's nothing we can do about it, man. At this point, we're going to sink or swim with Luke. So hopefully, we swim. We have Svi to replace D'Lo's position. Can play, make, can shoot, and much taller if developed properly. I really like Svi, but I can't compare him to D'Lo. D'Lo's a much better playmaker, much better ball handler, and I think for now a better shooter. Now Svi could eventually probably become a better catch and shoot guy, but D'Lo could shoot off the dribble. He can shoot off a screen and rolls. Just a different type of player. But I do like Svi, though. I really like Svi. I can't wait till he develops and see what he becomes. He could be the next Kyle Korver, or he could be something much better. So we'll see. He said, just need people that can shoot the three. And we need to run a better offensive system to get those people that can shoot the three wide open shots as well. So he said, all this talk about D'Lo's defense, but believe it or not, D'Lo's defense is better than Beal. Beal's defense is real bad. I don't watch enough of Beal on League Pass since they have a losing record. It's not that interesting to me, so I can't comment on that. But, yeah, D'Lo's pretty solid, man. He knows how to use his length at times. He does get beat a lot off the dribble, but that's why we have the anchors in the back, to deter those players from getting in the lane and reaping havoc. He said, Dan, do you think D'Lo and Lonzo could have worked together? I do, because you guys remember what Lonzo did with a shooter in UCLA. So D'Lo's the type of player that can spot up or create for himself. So, yes, he could have played off ball, and at times Lonzo could have played off ball, and D'Lo was a great playmaker as well. Not on Lonzo's level, and he's definitely not the athlete that Lonzo is. So that was an upgrade on both of those sides by drafting Lonzo and trading D'Lo. But it would have been nice to see him play at his natural position, the two guard, and Lonzo just having that shooter on the wing like D'Lo, man, and somebody who's willing to take big-time clutch shots. I'll never forget the shots he took, the one versus Brooklyn to ice the game when he hit the ice in his vein post, and the two shots he hit versus Minnesota, one to force it to overtime and the other one to win. And the one he hit in Summer League. So he was showing signs of becoming a star player on the offensive end. And that's why I really grew close to D'Lo. I really liked his style of play. Yeah, they would have been really good, man, honestly. And I feel like their personalities match as well. They're both cocky, arrogant young men, yet humble in a sense. They're well-spoken and they know how to talk to the media. I feel like they would have got along properly. They probably would have been best friends. Who gets the ball in the final shot? You have to go with D'Lo. He's proven before he can hit them. He can hit them. D'Lo's still inconsistent, but he's putting up some really nice numbers. He's He's averaging like 18.7 points per game, I think they said, and 6 assists. And I've seen him play for Brooklyn. Him and Spencer Dinwiddie and Chris LeVert before he got injured were really making that team go. He said, do you think we can get in the playoffs? If LeBron comes back on time and Luke Walton minimizes his mistakes, yes, we have a shot, definitely. We have the roster for it. The injury plus, bad coaching has really caused us to fall off, honestly. But we've always had the talent for it. We showed it in flashes. The key here for us is consistency, and I feel like a better head coach would have got us to that. But we'll see what happens. Jared Allen is really good for Brooklyn as well. I like Jared Allen. He reminds me of a young Tyson Chandler, actually. Good rim protector. He can catch lobs, super athletic. So, yeah, I like Jared Allen. A little bit of DeAndre in him as well. D'Lo's also shooting 81% from the free throw line. Oh, yeah, D'Lo was a pure shooter. Let's be real. His mid-range was nice. Any dark horse trades? It would be nice if we can get Dennis Smith because he can score. And he has some nice athleticism. His jumper is pretty solid from beyond the arc, 37%. So if we can get him for KCP and a second-round pick, I'd do it. I'd take a flyer on Dennis Smith. I liked him since he came out of the draft. Sometimes a change of scenery for a young player will do wonders for him. Just ask all the Lakers that have left. So pretty much, yeah, I would definitely take a flyer on Dennis Smith. But I know Dallas. I know Mark Cuban. He hates the Lakers. Last thing he wants to see is a young player he traded thrive with the Lakers and end up killing them in the future. So he will never probably trade with the Lakers. I don't foresee any kind of trade unless it's beneficial to him with the Lakers. So, Dan, if one of our young players has improved by the deadline, who do you think Magic trades? I have no clue, honestly. I'm not looking at the young core pieces to get traded. But the one that has been struggling the most is Josh Hart. If we had to pick one, that'd probably be the one. But I would hate to because I saw what he did in summer league, and I think he still has a lot of potential, man. He said, Dan, if he said, please preach that Beal doesn't make us insanely better. Sorry, not worth trading two dudes and a pick. Yeah, he's definitely not worth the asking price, but Beal does make us better, just not championship contender better, in my opinion. Dennis Smith is super athletic, Kevin. I agree. Remember when Mark Cuban said LA should amnesty Kobe? Yeah, Mark Cuban is probably one of the owners I dislike. I don't dislike the Mavericks. They have a nice team. They've always been competitive, but just Mark Cuban is annoying. He's super annoying. I hate looking at his face on the sideline, always complaining every time they don't get the call. It's like, dude. And I wonder if his players ever get annoyed. He's too attached to the team. Like, you don't give him no space. Dan, would you do KCP, Josh, and JaVale for Ross and Vucevic? Let's see, KCP, Josh, and JaVale. I think we'd be giving up too much, man. Vucevic is nice, but he's an expiring contract. We need JaVale's rim protection for the playoffs. Terrence Ross would be nice, but Josh Hart and KCP is too much, man. Just a little too much. He said Cuban is the Jerry Jones of the NBA. That's a good comparison right there. Yep. Dan, what do you think of LaMelo? I like his potential. I hope he comes onto the league as an undrafted free agent and the Lakers pick him up for the G League. And then if he proves himself there, then, we pick him up. That would be great. But I think he's going to be too good. Somebody will pick him up in the draft. Got to respect Mark Cuban for that, though. I don't really respect Mark Cuban. He's always disrespected our Lakers, so I don't know him nothing, man. He's a good businessman. I'll give him that. Hey, Dan, I heard that Ariza's buyout. Let's hear about that one. He said, hey, Dan, I heard that Ariza would do a buyout. So if he does, we can get him without trading any of our young players. That would be a huge upgrade. Trevor Ariza, I wanted him before the Suns traded him away. That would be amazing. Like, he would fit like a glove on this team. And he will bring instantly that energy, that hustle, that defense, and that ability to knock down big shots. He said Raptors might trade for Beal. That would be scary. If they trade for Beal, then they are a championship contender for sure. They already are, but, I mean, that pretty much puts them up there. Lonzo, D'Lo, Ingram, Bron, JaVale. That would have been insane. You say, yeah, the Wizards are a mess. How about Austin Rivers to the Lakers? I like Austin Rivers' energy, but I think his skills are overrated. I think we can do better as far as a backup guard. Dan, would you consider Parsons an vet minimum if he's bought out? I don't like Parsons. I don't like injury-riddled players that have been in and out of the league. I wouldn't. Again, this is the same reason I didn't want to take the gamble of buying him. And we made a good choice because nobody else gave him a shot, so there must be a reason for it. If the Lakers lose 3 of the next 3 games, will you go crazy? I won't go crazy, but I'll be disappointed, man. I'll be disappointed. I'll take one more question before I get off, guys. The next question I read is it. He said, let me see. I don't see any questions. 24 and 21 A seed for now, bro. Yeah, it's solid for now, but we got to improve on that. I don't see any question marks, guys. I'm reading the next question. Has to be a question mark on it, though. I don't know if you're asking me something or telling me. Let's see here. Dan, what do you think of Svi starting at the 2 guard instead of KCP? I would not be opposed to that. I thought about that, but I don't want to make that statement. But yeah, I've thought of that. I really have. And I think it would be a confidence booster. So trust me, you're not alone on that. But if KCP continues to play well, then I have no problem with him starting at all. To me, is next man up, whoever's playing the best. I do like the fact that Luke Walton took the fact that Josh Hart has been atrocious into accountability, but he needs to do that with every player. Take them all accountable. If Kuzma plays bad consistently for like 4 or 5 games, then you got to consider benching him. Same thing with Ingram. Same thing with Lonzo. That way, players know they have to take care of the basketball and play good basketball. If not, their job can be had. And that's all it is about, man. That's what good coaching is about, sending a message. Took Luke about what? Almost 3/4 of the season to make an adjustment. So better late than never, but I'll take it, man. Got to send a message. All right, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Long day at work today, so I'm tired, man. I'm going to go ahead and rest, spend some time with my family before I go to bed. I thank you guys for tuning in, man. Go Lakers. Let's get back on track here. Hopefully, LeBron, we get some good news. If we get some good news, then I might just drop a video tomorrow about LeBron and what it means moving forward. But if we don't get some good news, then I'll just wait till Thursday's pregame to talk about it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Much love. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys Thursday for that